Welcome to the bold analysis. I want to start this analysis by sharing condolences. I'm just from Catherine Kasavuli's requiem in Ngong Road, and we now let her rest in peace. I remember, just take some minute also to say maybe when last. I remember during COVID, we were doing we were getting some support to do stories, some grants by Media Council, and I used to work in Mtaani Radio. So by that time, we had different mentors. We used to work with different mentors that were guiding us. My mentor was a lady known as Anmikia, is a veteran in Kenyan media. And another colleague of mine, her mentor was Kasavuli. That was back during COVID time. And I remember we met in one of those master classes, and she was very lovely and a very jovial person. So I remember when we got there, sometimes that's what life is. And as people in the media space, we also share the situation in the family. Today, when I was coming, I realized that Rigathi Gachagua met with Marriot, the UK-Envoy, a day after meeting with Raila Odinga. And of course, I had not purposed to do this analysis, as yesterday I could not read more. The political leadership, Raila and the team meeting with her, pointed out to what exactly is. And yesterday, these two meetings, I want us to look at them. And I'm just trying to figure out then what is her mission in Kenya. Let me just draw some comparison between the two meetings. So this is what she shared, and I've decided to use these two. After meeting Raila, she said, "Pleasure as always to meet Raila Odinga, a historic leader who has played a vital role in deepening Kenyan democracy. Discussed the importance of effective opposition in Kenya and UK development programs." I took two words, opposition and the development programs. Then today, after meeting Ricky G, our Deputy President, this is what Deputy President shared. "We continue engaging all stakeholders on initiatives that accord priority to unlock the potential of Northeastern region, promoting peace and security, supporting education and opportunities for the youth, rally and inclusive social economic development, among others." So that's a photo. Now, there is just another graph I want us to look at here. Someone is asking, yeah? This is, I think, the reception of Rigathi Gachagua's office. Na picha yake inaonekana nyuma. What do you make of that? It's a very small thing, but what do you make of that? And someone was asking, is that the place where there should be President Ruto's portrait? But again, that was just a gaffe, as I said. Now, it points out to one question, one thing that I can show you. When she met Raila Odinga in his capacity as ODM leader. And that's why if you saw the leaders that were with Raila, they were majorly from ODM. That was Oparanya, was a deputy party leader of ODM, and also and also Junet Mohammed, who is head of political affairs. So on that end, that meeting was purely on political party front, if you ask me. Then today, the meeting with Rigathi Gachagua is also one that looks, if it was purely on other aspect, you see other people, but just visiting Gachagua could be in her capacity as the deputy president. And looking into what those two have shared, I want us just to narrow our argument to some four aspects. Kenyans I have seen asking Raila Odinga that the West are the people that didn't want you to be the president. And you are on record blaming the West for having sabotaged your presidency. So what has happened that now you're even accepting to go and sit down with them? I want to answer that question by saying this. It's not Raila looking for them. It's them looking for Raila Odinga. And that is why I'll try to look at what exactly is the reason why they have been brought back, why that seems here. In fact, Jane Marriot stays in Kenya, so she's not a guest. All over after Kenya Kwanza got sworn in, she's been here with us. But of course, one thing I can tell you here is she is just taking a delegation from UK. Yeye kazi yake ni kutembeza that delegation. So she took the same delegation to Raila Odinga, then again met with Rigathi Gachagua. Someone was asking, in these meetings, what are normally the action points and what exactly happens? I want to put my personal submission before we look at this on this. That indeed, the West, to some extent, they had an influence on who was to be our president. It is not a coincidence on how they man-marked Wafula Chebukati and man-marked Bomas of Kenya during the result process. And also it's not a coincidence that immediately after William Ruto took power, there is a flurry of activities and a lot of stuff that is coming from their end. Kindly subscribe to our channel, because I can tell you the next part of this analysis you should not miss. It's what is going to give us the gist of what this lady, Jane Marriot, is doing in Kenya. And I can tell you that I have premised my argument on very concrete points with very good evidence. The complaints of UK, or rather the Europe meddling, the West meddling with the Kenyan democratization process, and will push further, is something that has been here. And they want to push it further because it was both UK and US involved. Our argument was the Venezuelans, guys who came here and disappeared mysteriously after the airport drama, the company is based in UK, and so they came from Venezuela, UK to here, but of course we did not get paper trail. So we've had these arguments. But then US has pumped 55 billion in Africa. Just during the US Africa Leaders Summit, 55 billion US dollars was pumped in Africa within a span of 3 years, touching to the areas of health and climate change and other aspects, and also women empowerment. I've also seen that. I think entrepreneurship in general. So what is happening here is this. UK is also pumping. I have seen some big projects that are coming on. With now US coming, it's not a US coming now rather UK coming to meet the two leaders. It's something they want to communicate. They've been blamed for not really looking at the democratization process of Africa, of Kenya, but then pursuing their own interests. So they want to get into that space and please Raila Odinga. That's why I can tell you they want to drag Raila Odinga, and the script is to give them more leverage against US. So this is between the two, US, UK. So UK wants to get leverage and get more dalliance from Raila Odinga to give them more leverage against US, because both of them are the West, but there is also intercompetition between the two. So they're going cozy with opposition to soften the ground. There is softening the ground, because I understand in the next, the 3 points that I'm going to share with you, you will see their major projects and how things have not been turning well on their side. Let me just tell you. Jane Marriot visited Rigathi Gachagua for Nairobi ceasefire. Let me tell you. That is why Jane Marriot came here. Number one, Nairobi ceasefire is this. Rigathi Gachagua has been having a very heated argument with Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja in an effort to decongest the city. And it involved moving matatus from the CBD to other areas outside the city. So that the premise of argument of Rigathi is disruption of business of the community. So I can tell you that UK is investing 12 billion US dollars to build a green city of office blocks, malls, light industrial hub on Kenya Railways land in fresh efforts to decongest the city. So because UK is also having a project within Nairobi, and they're just raising the alarm, they're just realizing that Sakaja fight with Rigathi was about Nairobi especially on the CBD. So what they want ceasefire, and you know there is a very good coordination. That's why I can tell you that those who say that Sakaja cannot talk with Rigathi got it wrong, because Rigathi is the one who is now coordinating national and county government. So Rigathi will all every time, and is going to conveniently have meetings with Sakaja. What the UK team wants here, that Jane Marriot could have taken the investor in this project so that they can do a ground assessment and softening the ground, because the multi-modal facility will be developed by British architects, and it will be situated on a land that belongs to Kenya Railways. In fact, it will touch the areas of Kenya Railways pension scheme land, the Landimawe place. So because of that, and there will be disruptions, I think the Jane Marriot team, they want to create a synergy and a soft ground between the Raila team and also the Rigathi Gachagua to end that Nairobi ceasefire. Because the conflict that emerges will also come up. The other time, what is going to happen here is there are some people that must be moved from where they are. For that project to done, there are some people that must be moved. So maybe they're also thinking that when that project starts, Rigathi might arise with the same discussion of, we are removing this tribe, we're doing this, and we are affecting this. The same discussion also on the Azimio side, that maybe we are going to affect people. So to me, this can be an effort for Nairobi ceasefire. The other aspect is, let me bring you closer home. Do you know Rigathi Gachagua has been meeting Simbarati? The photo here, they're seeing there's that meeting between Rigathi Gachagua and Simbarati. The gist of their cooperation so far is about establishment of a health hub, excellence hub in Kisii. I want you to look at this video. The video on the screen is the video of former President Uhuru Kenyatta hatching this project with Ongwae when they went to the UK. So this has been going on, and UK have realized that they have projects and multi-billion projects in the country, some of which are going to be rolled up in different areas that might seem politically uncomfortable within the UK. This narrative has been here with us. So what they also want to do is they want to soften the ground to make sure, meeting Raila as an Azimio governor. When Raila will whip the Azimio governor, and of course that has been going on the other side of the Rigathi Gachagua, the ground will be softened for absorption, acceptance, and the take-off of the UK multi-billion projects. That is it. I've singled, in terms of project, I've singled those two. The one for Kisii and the one for Nairobi. But all in all, this is what is happening. You know, President Ruto have been coming out publicly saying that I want opposition to check my government. So what is happening is this. After things settled, the UK team realized that, okay, Raila cannot just be quiet and sit somewhere. They have realized they want to use Raila. I know people have been framing it as opposition. No, it's not opposition, it's transparency and accountability of the government of the day. These people are going to be, there is land that government is giving for construction of the ball in the Landimawe area. Government is also giving land for the construction of the dam in the Nithi-Kitui border. That's where the people are supposed to be moved to Meru National Park, if I'm not wrong. And there seems to be things moving. What you could want is, as they roll out multi-billion projects on the other end, they make sure that there is no pilferage. And what to stop that pilferage is an institution that can call out the government. That's why I make my premise that it's not about Raila, it's about them. It's not about our interest, it's about their interest. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. I don't know what you think about this Rigathi meeting, but then what do you see within the lines?